violent. Oh, sorry. Insurance. Mr. Michaels, where were you the night of the fire?
I was walking. I wasn't at my house.
You weren't anywhere near the house?
No, I wasn't.
Then tell me, Mr. Michaels, why did your clothes smell like gasoline? I didn't talk. And can you imagine a South African jury deciding your case? You would never know which way the verdict would go. The judge would be there. Ladies and gentlemen, the jury, have you got your verdict? We have, Your Honor. How do you find? We find the defendant guilty. Okay, and why is that? He didn't greet. Yeah, he just came in here. Well, nothing, no greeting, nothing. Yeah, magaham. I choose South Africa every day of the week. You know when I realized this, when it solidified in my mind, was when someone asked me a really personal question. Someone said to me, Trevor, if you have kids, where would you like them to be brought up? And this was honestly one of the toughest questions ever, because I was like, wow, actually I've never thought about that. If I had children, where would I want them to be brought up? And honestly, all I could think, no lying, no nothing, I was like, I would want them to be brought up in South Africa. I would want them to grow up in a country where you have multiple cultures, in a country where you have multiple languages, in a country where you understand that there are other ways to be, in a country where there's diversity in terms of thought, in terms of food. I would want them to understand what it's like to be in a country where, I would want them to live here. I would want them to know here. And then I went down a spiral. I was like, wow, what would I want? I would want my kids to be South African. I realized I want my kids to have the same ice cream truck music that I grew up with. Which I didn't even know was a thing. I didn't know this. Did you know that the ice cream truck music is different in every country? I didn't know this. I just assumed. Yeah, till I went, and there I was in America. They've got different ice cream trucks driving around. Is there? And then you go to Europe. You'll be in some random country. They've got their own music, and the ice cream truck is like. I don't want that for my kids. When my kids are getting ice cream, I don't want that jolly music playing. I want happy music. When my kids are about to get ice cream, I want there to be suspense. I want it to sound like the beginning of a horror movie. I want that thrill when the truck turns around the corner. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. That's what I want for my kids. Why do I want them to grow up in this country? There's so many reasons. You know why I want my kids to be South African? Because I want my kids to have grit. I want them to have texture. You take for granted what a child growing up in South Africa learns. You take for granted what they have to go through. It makes you something special, you know? It polishes you, a diamond from the rough. There's something of I realized this one day. I was in the street in Brooklyn, right outside of New York City, right? And I'm sitting outside. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. And I'm in the street, and there's these kids playing baseball, right? And I'm watching these kids while they're playing. Well, I wasn't watching them. I just saw them, you know? And no, I wasn't they were just there. And I was looking in that direction. In fact, I was looking first, and then they came and started playing while I was looking there. So they're the ones with the problem. Anyway. So the kids were there and they were playing baseball, right? And having like a really great time. The one kid pitches the ball, hits it, runs around. The other one comes, hits the ball, and then one kid pitched the ball, and the kid bats it and hits it, and it flew into a car window on the side, and the window cracked. And the kid who hits it was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And then the kid who threw the ball, he was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And then the other kids who were just standing around, they were like, ee, oh. And then soon it was 10 kids all crying at different levels. I can't have children like that. One broken window, 10 children crying. Guys, that'll never happen in South Africa. What is the point of that? I remember what it was like growing up. We'd be outside in the streets playing. Everyone was there busy with the soccer ball. Busy having some fun playing diski. Someone would kick that ball too hard. Ball would fly over the wall, hit someone's window. And the thing I love is South African windows always act like they're not gonna break. And then the kid who kicked the ball, they'd look and they'd be like, and the rest of us would see what is about to happen. We'd know. We understand why our friend is terrified. They're in more trouble than they've ever been in their lives. But we wouldn't cry. What is our crying going to help our friend? No. We would be there. We would look over into our friend's eyes. We'd stare at them and we'd be like, I love banana. You broke the window. They're gonna hit you. They're gonna kill you. And then we'd take the ball and be like, see you tomorrow. Those are the kids I want. That's why I want South African children. You kidding me? And the most important reason I want to have children that are South African is because I want children who have culture and respect. Culture and respect. You take that for granted as a South African. The way we treat each other, even in the toughest times, you take it for granted because you're here. But guys, South Africans, we're truly a cut above the rest. Like, you think I'm wrong. You think I'm lying. Go, walk anywhere in public where there are other South Africans. Fall flat on your face. Pa! Tell me there's no South African there who will feel your pain. You'll fall. Bah! They'll all be there like, sorry. Ooh, sorry. Ach, shame, man. Ach, nee, man. Ach, shame. Ach, fooi toch, man. Ach, shame. You know that doesn't happen overseas. Yeah. There's a lot of countries around the world where no one cares about what happens to you if they don't know you. I saw this firsthand in New York. I was walking through the street and there was this old lady who had just come back from grocery shopping and she was carrying her bag. And this lady was old, guys. Like old. Like old. Like old. You're not like old. Like old. Like she was knocking. You know what I mean? Like old. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like even where like the angel of death was there walking with her like, anytime I know I'll just be here in case. Like old. I'm talking about old. You know when you're so old, every morning you wake up shocked like, I'm still here. Like that old. And this little old lady was walking with her bag. She had a little plastic bag with groceries. And as she got to the middle of the street, the bag burst. And all the vegetables that were inside her bag scattered on the ground. And vegetables, you all know, is the worst thing to drop. Yeah, because nothing runs like vegetables, eh? Have you seen vegetables when you drop them out of a packet? They go in every direction like they know you were going to murder them. Guys, they're gone. Those vegetables, especially onions. Have you seen onions? They land and they're like... Guys, these vegetables were strewn in every direction. Nobody stopped to help this lady. No one cared. People made it seem like she inconvenienced them. They were hopping over it, looking at her, judging her. I was the only one who felt bad. I went, I started gathering up the vegetables, started picking them. As I picked them up, this old lady turned and she looked at me and she was like, hey,
you piece of shit! And I was like, yo, sorry.
I don't want that for my kids. I want them to grow up in a culture where there's respect and care. Respect being one of the key ones. I've been traumatized by children in America. They do whatever they want when they want. Honestly, guys, I've met many American children. They're demons, eh? Demons. Abo Satan. I'll tell you a story. One day, I was in a movie theater, minding my own business, watching a movie. Next thing I know, this kid starts kicking my chair. Right? Now, I don't know what's happening at first. I'm just sitting there minding my own business, and all of a sudden I feel the chair start shaking. So I'm like, oh, is this a 4D movie? And then I'm like, no, man, Barbie's not 4D. And then I realized no one else is shaking around me. So I turn and I look and then I see these little feet kicking the chair. And so I turn and I'm like, hey, excuse me, hey, what are you doing? And this kid is sitting there and he just looks at me. I'm like, what are you doing? And then, like a seat away, his dad is there. And he turns and he's like, what happened? Hey, did something happen? I'm like, is this your son? He's like, yeah, what, did something happen? I'm like, yeah, so your son is kicking my chair. He's like, what? Mikey, are you kicking the man's chair? Trevor, hey, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah, go ahead, my friend. He said, hey, Trevor, I just wanted to know when Donald Trump says all these horribly racist things, do you sometimes just want to, pack it up, leave America, go back to South Africa and escape all this racism? I said, my friend, you don't go to South Africa to escape racism. That's where you go to stock up. Are you kidding me? That's the one thing that reminds me of home. Racism out here. Because we've got tons of racism in South Africa. And don't get me wrong, it's gotten a lot better. When I was growing up, we had apartheid. And, apartheid was basically the best racism in the world. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I mean, now you're going to feel bad and be like, oh, racism was the best. No, it wasn't. It was good, but not the best. And I experienced a bunch of racism, and everyone did. I never felt like it was a bad thing, mostly because of my family. My mother is a black woman, Xhosa woman. My father's Swiss from Switzerland. And them being a couple was against the law, and that was a problem for us living together. And so we experienced a ton of racism. And in case you're wondering, yes, Xhosa is one of the languages with the clicks in it, right? Xhosa, but not like in American movies, just so you know. Yeah, I've seen those movies where they have Africans and they're like, that's not a language. Yeah, even we watch those movies and we're like, I wonder what they are saying, yeah? Where are they from? I think they're from Cleveland. What I expected at all. Different from the brochures and the pamphlets. There's many assumptions I had about America before I came here, and I've come to learn that those were wrong. For one, I just assumed people spoke English here. It's far from it. It's not, you know what, it's not so much the language, so much as the pronunciation of words that throws me off. It's just what Americans have done with the language. You guys have just... Wow, you've done something. You've put 22s on the English language. You've got rims that says, pimp my language. That's what you've gone with, I don't understand. I was chatting to this woman downtown the other day. She came up to me and she wanted me to see something. I don't know what, though. She was like, oh my God, look over there. I said, look over what? She's like, over there. Look at that her. And I said, her? She's like, no, her. There's two of them? I understand nothing, even the small words, just the pronunciation, small things that get you by. For instance, I pronounce the opposites of uncle as aunt. I say my aunt. Out here, you say my aunt, which to me is an insect, which made me look like an ass when my friend told me his aunt died. And I was like, so what? There's tons of those out there. What a great way to end a friendship. I couldn't get help the other day when searching for a battery for my remote control, because that's what I say, battery, a small form of power. Yes, in America, you say battery, which to me is a different form of power. Sponsored by Chris Brown. And you know what, I understand. We live on different sides of the globe, so it's fine. The language will evolve. This is something I've come to understand. But I hope I change one thing in your hearts forever. Just one thing. And that is that animal in the wild that looks like a horse. It has black and white stripes. Yeah, do me a favor. From now on, please, it's not zebra, okay? It's zebra. Yeah? Just like it's not Debra, it's Deborah. Same structure of word. Plus, you cannot name them because you do not have them. Zebra. This is madness. Everything out here is different. Do you know how hard it is to learn when you come out here? You have to change everything. There's the measurement system, which is just, America, you guys have your own thing, the imperial system, you know? On my side of the world, we use the metric system, and by my side, I mean the rest of the world, you know? We have the metric system, which is, amongst other things, very efficient. It's a very simple process. You know, everything goes into each other. And out here you have imperial, which is fine. I won't judge you. If you want to be imaginary, that's up to you. But I just feel like there's some consistency that's needed. Small things. Like, for instance, when we abbreviate our small measurement, milligrams, we use mg, milligrams. Mg, milligrams. Yeah? And you guys have ounces, which you then abbreviate OZ. There's no Z in the word, ounces. I don't know. That's pale in comparison to what you've done with pounds. That, for me, please explain to me how the abbreviation for pounds became LBS. Pounds. I look like the idiot walking into the store going, could I please have the 2 labs bag of sugar? Guy was like, you mean pounds? I said, I don't see the P. No, I don't. He said, well, it means pounds. It's not LBS. A lot of bullshit. That's what it stands for. This is horrible. In fact, it's crazy. You do realize the imperial system is so inefficient that even American drug dealers have switched over to metric. Even drug dealers got to the point where they said, we need some order, we're going with metric. And I honestly thought this was an anomaly. I thought, you know what, this is just one of those things, it's a coincidence, but it's not. Americans do not care about abbreviation nor the English language. They don't give a damn. I learned this in the small things. Like for instance, when I was in Tennessee, I stumbled on an organization known as the Ku Klux Klan. You heard of them? Worst magic show ever. Guy gave me a pamphlet. He was like, come and see the Grand Wizard. Grand Wizard! The Grand Wizard! Didn't do one trick! Not even one trick. I noticed a few black people disappear, but that's not magic. No, that's just Reaganomics. I wasn't impressed by that. Like, where's the magic? I sat there forever. These guys running around in their sheets. Yeah! The KKK, as they're affectionately known. Has nobody bothered to tell them ever that you do not spell clan with a K? Nobody stopped. Even in America, clan is spelt with a C. The Ku Klux Klan, they're the KKC, not the KKK. You realize that? Ku Klux Klan. The C. In fact, the name is wrong. The whole thing, the Ku Klux parts of it. That's just horrible because they got that, as you know, from ancient Greece. It was Kuklos Alphion, meaning a circle of brothers. And that's how they got their name. They call themselves a Greek circle of brothers, which is wrong for 2 reasons. One, if your sole purpose as an organization is to hate black people, don't you find it strange that you've now named yourself the Circle of Brothers? And secondly, do they realize that in ancient Greece, circles of brothers were doing very different things with one another? Very loving, very, yeah. If they were really a Greek circle, the sheets would be a bit higher up, just more of a, yeah, maybe one more hole. They're not a...
The newspapers say that. He's
not suffer the same ills I did. If you do go to Scotland and you are ever offered a drink, don't. Because you see, the Scottish, unlike us, we drink to enjoy. The Scottish drink to die. I used to think the Scottish had an accent. I've now learned that's just centuries of people trying not to throw up. That's all that is. Ah, right, what you do, oh, ah. Yeah, lad has never had that drink, oh, ah. Yeah, treble dragons, oh, that go. I made that mistake myself. I was doing shows in Edinburgh. And after one of the shows, I left the venue, and my friend Mick was waiting for me backstage, and he was like, "Oh, Trevor, how was your show?" I said, "It was really good. Mick, how was yours?" He's like, "Oh, not too bad, not too bad. You know what, me and the lads were going down to the pub, gonna grab a drink. You want to join us?" And I said, "No, I don't really drink, Mick. I'm just gonna go home." He's like, "Oh, it's not about drinking, right? We're just gonna hang out, right? Just grab a wee little drink." And that's where he got me. Scottish people do that so well. They're just like, "Oh, wee little drink." It makes it sound harmless, doesn't it? Oh, just a wee little drink. Sounds tiny. A wee little drink. Yeah, wee little. Nothing sounds dangerous like that. Yeah, what happened in Nagasaki? Oh, they dropped a wee nuclear bomb. Doesn't sound that bad. He was like, a wee little drink. I was like, oh, you know what? Let's have a wee little drink. And so I joined him. And we went drinking. I don't remember. I do remember waking up the next day in my bed, partially dressed, shirt on the floor, pants still on, left shoe on, right shoe on the pillow beside me, and my head pounding, pounding, pounding. You know when you can hear your heart beating inside your head? And so I get up and I'm like, oh, I feel horrible. And as I stand up, I could feel the vomit coming. I could feel it. Yeah, I could feel it, just like, it did that thing. But I held it. I control that. Because if there's one thing you should know about me is I don't throw up, okay? Let's just get that straight right. I don't throw up. I control myself. When I see people throwing up, I'm like, you're weak. Control yourself. You're weak. This is my body. This is my temple. I control it. The body tried. It was like, whoa. I was like, no. No. My body was like, come on, man. I got it. I was like, no. No. Breathe. Had it in check. Went to the kitchen, started to make some breakfast, and as I poured the milk into the cereal bowl, my body was like, hey, Trevor? I was like, hey, what's going on, buddy? Hey, do you mind if I burp? Of course I don't mind if you burp, buddy. You burp all the time. Yeah, because I'm gonna burp right now. Just a standard everyday burp. I was like, I don't know why you're warning me. You never warn me usually when you burp. You should burp. I just wanted to let you know it's just a burp. You don't have to worry about it. I was like, okay, well, go ahead and burp. It's like, okay, well, here it comes. And my body was like, burp, burp. Yeah, but then I caught it in my mouth. I caught it all in my mouth, though. And, oh, yeah, judge me. Judge me. The only reason you know the taste is because you're alcoholics. You're going to judge me. We've all done that before. And I'll have you know that's the classy thing to do. You catch it in your mouth so you can handle your business in the toilets. Caught it all in my mouth. I ran to the toilets. I threw up, and it was the worst feeling in the world. I don't even drink. Throwing up is now an added reason to not. And you know when you're throwing up, the worst part for me is the dry heaving. You know when you're done, everything is finished, but still, like that's when I know that humans aren't as evolved as we think we are. Because your body and your brain at that point are not. There's nothing left. There's nothing there. And still there's nothing there. There's not. And we're all in that position. It's not gracious. No one's looking cool. Everyone is there. Like, you're just like, everyone is in that same position. There's no one who throws up in a cool fashion. No one's there like, oh. Oh, no one. Every single one of us, we're reduced to a pile of pain. Oh, it's finished. It's finished. It's finished.
nothing there. Why don't you realize that? Ooh, ah. Oh, please, I'm dying. Oh, I'm dying. I don't even know what. Ooh.
And then blood came out. Yeah, not good. So I panicked because I was like, I'm bleeding internally. I need to get to the hospital. Called my friend Mick. I was like, Mick, where are you? He's like, oh, Trevor, I'm at home. What's going on? I said, Mick, I need your help. I think I drank too much last night. He's like, yeah, right, and? I said, and then this morning, I threw up a lot. He's like, yeah, right, and? I said, and then while I was throwing up, blood came out. He's like, yeah, right, and? I said, and that's it, Mick. Blood came out of my mouth. He said, oh, that's too bad, Trevor. So what are you going to do now? I said, I'm going to go to the hospital, Mick. He's like, oh, I don't know if that's necessary. Like, was it a lot of blood? So any blood is a lot of blood. What do you mean? He's like, no, I know what you're saying, but like, was it a lot or was it like a wee bit of blood? Mick didn't take me to the hospital. Instead, he decided to come over with some bananas and white bread. Forced me to eat that. And that night, I had another show. It was horrible. It was a bad show. And afterwards, I leave the venue. And who's standing outside waiting for me? My good friend Mick. And he's like, Trevor, how was your show? I said, it was horrible, Mick. It was horrible. I thought I was going to die. He's like, oh, that's too bad. You want to go talk about it over a pint? I said, what, Mick? He's like, yeah, let's go grab a wee drink. I said, there's no wee nothing here, my friend. There's no wee ever again. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, Mick, I thought I was going to die. I'm not going to drink. He's like, don't be like that, Trevor. It's just one bad day. I was like, yeah, and I'd like to live to see another, Mick. I'm not going with you. He's like, oh, Trevor, don't be like... I'm like, don't be like what? He's like, don't be a pussy. And that's where he lost me. That is where he lost me. I understand what he was trying to do. Guys do it all the time. Hit you with the phrase, don't be a pussy. Yes. Because it implies weakness. Yeah. Do not be like the vagina. The vagina that is weak. Yes, yes. Don't be a pussy. The guys say that and then you do what they want. Don't be a pussy. Yeah, yeah, don't be a pussy because the pussy is weak. And yet, in my personal experience, I have found the pussy to be one of the strongest things I have ever come across in my life. Don't be a pussy? Have you ever come across a pussy? The vagina is one of the most powerful. You realize vaginas can start revolutions and end wars. You realize even on a physical level, the vagina is one of the strongest things that have ever existed. Virtually indestructible. Many men in this room, many men in this room have tales of how they once defeated the pussy. Let me tell you now, they have not. The owner of the pussy may have given you the impression that you defeated the pussy. But it is alive and well, my friends. Whenever people say that, I go, do you understand how impressive the vagina is? Do you understand how strong it is? There's a reason men have sought to oppress it for so long. The vagina is frighteningly powerful. You realize that human beings come out of a vagina. Human beings come out and still it continues to work as intended. Do you understand how impressive that is? Like, I don't know if I'm the only one, but do you understand? A human being comes out of the vagina and still it continues to operate and it continues to work. After a human has just come out, you're saying it's weak? A human came out of the vagina. You just sit on a penis wrong and it breaks. You just... Don't be a penis. That should be the phrase. Don't be a pussy. I wish I was a pussy. Are you serious right now? Don't be a penis. That should be the saying.